welcome to Seven Sides. I'm Kayleigh, you may or may not know that already, but today I'm going to be doing the throwback tag, as you would have already known by the title below or wherever it is on the screen. But the reason I'm doing this is because, I don't know, I'm just a sentimental person and I just like looking back at my old childish days. So I've got 15 questions that I'm going to answer, and yeah, let's just get started. So the first question is, what year were you born in? And I was born in 1997, which means that I am a 90s kid. I don't care that I was only a 90s kid for like 3 years, I'm still a 90s kid. So question number 2 is, do you have any questions of yourself? And if so, show them. So being a sentimental person, I keep all my photos in a box from when I was a kid. So yeah, I have a lot here and I'm going to show you them now. Okay, question number 3 is, what TV shows did you used to watch when you were younger? And honestly, I watched them all. I watched so much TV as a kid. Honestly, Powerpuff Girls, Hey Arnold, The Wild Thornberrys, Barney, I used to live for Barney, and Teletubbies, and Cat Dog as well. Those were all like my favorite TV shows. They're not like all my favorites, obviously I had a lot more, but I just decided to just stop with that. Number 4 is, what did you want to be when you grew up, and do you still want to be that now? Okay, for me it jumped several times. So as a kid I always wanted to be a mom or a vet or something, but then when I actually started thinking about it, probably when I got to about the age of 12, I decided that I wanted to be a fashion designer. And that was the set thing, and that was because I used to watch True Jackson VP, which used to be a TV show that starred Kiki Palmer, and she was like in the fashion designer business, and I thought that was really cool, so I wanted to be a fashion designer. But then it kind of changed when I got to high school, and I was like, okay, I actually need to start thinking about this properly. And then when I turned 16, I wanted to be an accountant, and I was very set on that. And then I realized that I'm not very good at accountancy, so I had to kind of change that, and I decided to be a teacher. So I took all my subjects to be a teacher, and then suddenly it clicked, and when I got to somewhere between when I was 17 and 18, so quite recently, I decided that no, teaching is not for me, and yeah, now I'm going into film production, so yeah. Number 6 is, what were your favorite toys to play with as a kid? Now, I did a full video about this, showing all the collectible toys that I used to play with as a kid on my main channel, so you can go and check that out. There's a link over here, you can click on that and you can go on over to watch that. But yeah, basically it's just all little collectibles that I used to play with all the time, and yeah. Number 7 is, what is the most embarrassing thing that you can remember doing? And honestly, I can't really remember any that were embarrassing, because I didn't really used to get embarrassed as a kid. I don't know, call me weird, call me insane, I don't care, but that was the thing. But I do remember getting really embarrassed about when my dad stole my diary and started reading through it. And I was a little kid, so there wasn't anything like juicy in it, although I had a crush on this guy named Nicholas. Don't know who he is, can't remember him, but apparently he was in the same class as me, and I used to really fancy him, so I wrote that in my diary and my dad saw it, so I was kind of embarrassed about that. Anyway, okay, I just had to go and get something in preparation for the next question, which is, read something you wrote when you were in kindergarten. Now, in South Africa, we don't have kindergarten, we have something called primary school, and then from there you go to primary school, and then senior primary school, and then you go to high school, which is, yeah, so pre-primary school is basically kindergarten. And I don't actually have anything from then, because we didn't actually learn to write until we were in primary school. So this is when, this is in grade 1, so I was actually 7, and this is my literacy book. Let's see what we can find in here. Oh gosh. So every week or so we used to have something called news, which is where we used to have a page where we would write the date, the word news, and then we used to like write a couple sentences or whatever of like a weekend that had happened, what we had done in the weekend or whatever, and then we used to draw a picture underneath that. So on the 19th of April I wrote this: I had a lovely Easter holiday. That's it. That is it, that's all I wrote. And then the teacher replied, so did I, Kayleigh. Okay. Question number 9 is 3 songs you used to listen to as a kid. Now, I can't remember 3 particular songs, but I do remember listening to a lot of Hannah Montana. Like, I used to be obsessed with Hannah Montana, even though Hannah Montana was aimed at like 7-year-olds and I was like a 13-year-old kid listening to Hannah Montana. I don't know, Hannah Montana was a good series, okay? But then I also used to listen to Hilary Duff, and I remember that was the first CD I ever got. But yeah, number 10 is what was one funny thing you dressed up as for Halloween when you were a kid? And I don't actually celebrate Halloween, so I don't really dress up. I don't dress up, no, like I don't. And I don't celebrate it, but there was one year where we did celebrate it. I don't know why we decided that for one year we were going to celebrate it, but we dressed up and we went to the neighbor's house and we got like little like taffy sweets or something. But that's it, that's what we did. We didn't go anywhere else, we just went to the neighbors and we got like little sweets and we dressed up. And I dressed up as Little Red Riding Hood, and all I had for that was like a red cape. And then I wore a white shirt and a red skirt, and that's all I did. So yeah. Number 11, tell a funny story that you remember happening to you as a child. The only thing I can remember is, I guess you can just see what happened for yourself.
Okay.
I mean, Candace, she was absolutely fine and all, but it was just really funny. And now looking back, that video is the video that always gets us. Like, we can't stop laughing about it every time we watch it. It's so funny. But yeah, she was okay, so don't worry, you can laugh, it's fine. Okay, number 12 is, are there any special things that you kept from your childhood? Yeah, I keep everything. I have a memory box, which I've done a video on going through on my main channel. I've got a toy collection box. I've got 2 big stuffed animal boxes, a box full of all my schoolwork, my certificates. I got everything I've kept, like even some clothes I've kept. Like, I'm very sentimental and I should probably stop and throw some of it away because it's taking up a lot of space. But anyway. Number 13, what was something weird that you did as a kid? Now, I could go on and on and on about this, but I'm just gonna tell you like a few. I used to ask like really weird questions. I remember my mom has kept a book of all the weird things that us kids did, and most of them are my weird questions that I used to ask, like where do cars come from and how are cars made, and it's like really weird. And then I used to also put on plays for my family, even though they didn't want to watch it. I used to just do this whole big play thing, and then I'd get my sister Candace involved and I'd force my parents to watch, and yeah, it was weird. And I also used to prank my siblings. I remember pretending to do a play with them and we ended up pranking them, and it was just a little weird. Number 14 is, what is the scariest thing that you can remember doing as a child or happening to you as a child? It was when I was carrying my little brother Brendan, and I was like carrying him with me because he was like running around. We were at a neighbor's house or whatever, and he was like running around, and I was like, oh my goodness, I must carry him all the way back. So I was like carrying him or whatever, and then they had these like windows that like came out, like if this was the wall, it came out like that, and it had like a sharp little corner. So I was carrying him and I banged my head on the window, and I was like, oh, just bump my head, that's fine, I've just got to get Brendan all the way down to mom. So So I walked all the way to mom, and then my mom was like, Kayleigh, why is your head bleeding? And then I was like, what? And I went like this, and my whole entire hand was like full of blood. And so now I was sat down on a couch, and they were walking around me trying to decide whether I needed stitches or not. And I was absolutely terrified of the doctors, so I didn't want to go for stitches, and I didn't go for stitches. But yeah, that was just the scariest thing, with my parents walking around me deciding whether to get stitches or not. Number 15 is, how is the world different from how it used to be like as a child? Well, it is completely different. First of all, there's a lot more technology. There's like, you don't get CD players. Like, we had a big fat CD player, and then you'd open it and put the CD in and close it. It was like, it was weird. And then you have iPhones. We didn't have iPhones, or smartphones for that matter. iPads, there was not a, like, no one knew what an iPad was. No one would understand what an iPad is. The TV shows, kids' TV shows, are not as good as they used to be. Like, I tried watching some of the TV shows that my sisters are watching now, and so I hope you guys enjoyed going through me being weird as a child. And so don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Also, 7 Sides has got Instagram, which I will leave the username over here, and yeah, there'll be a link down below for that, so you can click follow, and I think we'll just be doing updates on that, so yeah, may as well go follow that. And my social media links are also going to be down below. Okay guys, ooh, that was really loud. I will see you